Okay, class, this week we're going to be focusing on one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and three-dimensional shapes. Today we're only going to be covering one-dimensional shapes and its angles that go along with it. So our first one-dimensional shape is a line. A line has no beginning and no end. Your next one is a ray. A ray has a beginning point but does not have an end point. Next is your line segment. Your line segment has a beginning and both an end point. Next, you have your vertical. A vertical that was not a straight line. Your vertical is straight up and straight down. It still is a line that has no beginning and no end, and it goes from north to south. Next, you have your horizontal. Your horizontal runs from east to west, has no beginning and no end, just like your line up here. Next, we have our parallel lines. Okay, your parallel lines are two lines that run together but do not ever meet, they never touch. They also both have no beginning and no end. Along with your parallel lines, you have your perpendicular lines. Your perpendicular lines do meet. They have a beginning and an end, and they also form a right angle. The last one-dimensional shape that you have is your intersecting lines. Your intersecting lines are lines that meet, they connect. They also have no beginning and no end. So now that we have our one-dimensional shapes, we're going to move over to our angles. The four angles that we have are an acute, an obtuse, a right angle, and straight. Okay? Your acute is any angle that is less than 90 degrees. Okay? Your obtuse angle is anything that's more than 90 degrees. And then your right angle is exactly 90 degrees. It's always going to make a box. Your last one is your straight. Your straight equals 180 degrees. Now remember, the arrows that I'm drawing means they are what? Good, that means they are lines. They have no beginning and no end. So, now that we've gone over our one-dimensional shapes and our angles, let's go back and review. So, class, say it with me. What is this? Good, it is a line. A line means that it has what? No beginning and no end. Your next one? Very good, it's a ray. A ray has a beginning point, but no ending. Next, we have our line segment. Our line segment has a beginning and it has a definite end. Then we move to our vertical. Our vertical is straight up and straight down, north to south. Does not have a beginning and it does not have an end. It's a continuous line. Along with your horizontal. Your horizontal is the same thing as a vertical, except it's going sideways from east to west. Next, we have our perpendicular line. Our perpendicular line are two lines that meet, and they have a definite end and a definite beginning. We move over here and we have our parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that run along right beside each other, but they never touch. And there are also lines that have no beginning and no end. Lastly, we have our intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are lines that cross each other, and they also have no beginning and no end. Next, we look at our angles. Remember, we have our acute angle that's less than 90 degrees, our obtuse angle that is more than 90 degrees, our right angle that is 90 degrees, and our straight angle that equals 180 degrees. Make sure that you're taking notes on this, that you go home and study it, because tomorrow we will review and then go on to our two-dimensional shapes.